Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anna, and I'm with HTAG, and today we have Julie Harold joining us from Agape International Missions. Julie, congratulations on winning the Top 25 Abolitionists in America Award. We are thrilled to hear more about what AIM is doing and learn more about what your organization is doing to combat human trafficking. So to begin our time today, tell us more about Agape International Missions.
Agape International Missions exists to defeat the evil of sex trafficking in Cambodia. We've actually were started as a humanitarian aid and church planting organization back in 1988. So we're coming up to our 25th anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, I know, it's exciting. But really the fight against child sex trafficking started in 2005 when Dawn and Bridget Brewster really uprooted their family, their lives here in the U.S. and moved to Cambodia.
Perfect.
So we're continuing that ministry, and it's continuing to grow.
And is Agape International Missions solely focused on working with victims over in Cambodia, or do you guys do any work here in the States as well?
Really, our focus is in Cambodia. However, we have partnered with other organizations here in Sacramento, providing training on establishing counseling for the aftercare. And then our most recent collaboration in terms of training has occurred in the Oak Park area, South Sacramento, where a Rahab's house has now been opened by Rochelle and Lauren Ditmore.
Perfect. Now, I would love to hear you expand more on what you guys are doing over in Cambodia, as well as what you guys are doing in South Park.
Sure. So we continue to have our aftercare center where girls who have been rescued from brothels are being taken. We have expanded where our Rahab's House ministry in a town called Swaipak. It's really the red light district, or the epicenter of child sex trafficking. That was opened up in 2007, and that's continuing to expand. Through that community center, we have a medical clinic where we're providing free medical care twice a week. We have a school where we have about 300 students. We're at capacity at this school, and it's an elementary school. We also have a vacation Bible school. It's called Kids Club, and they come twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon, where they're learning about Jesus. They're dancing, they're singing, they're getting to do arts and crafts. They're really just having an opportunity to be kids. Through that same community center, we have a church that meets every Sunday. And it's those relationships that we've established through the church that have really helped us to rescue more girls in Swaipak. It's girls that have come to us themselves. It's grandparents who've come to us and said, help me, my child's or my grandchild's being trafficked. The Lord's Gym is a really cool ministry in Swaipak. This is actually where we're ministering to the pimps, the drug dealers, the traffickers themselves. So it's very cool. We have 5 what are considered to be celebrity kickboxers in Cambodia, which is really cool because Don was sharing a story that he had gone into a little store, and the nationals were talking about, they were pointing to a news article about one of the kickboxers, and they were like, oh yeah, this is a great guy, and Don was like, yeah, he's my friend, I know him. So they was like, they're at celebrity status, so it's really cool. They've given their lives to Christ, and they're able to go out and just be an example, which is awesome. In their fighting, their kickboxing. Our most recent project, probably the most exciting, is our self-sustaining business. It's a training center. And so what this is, it provides sustainable employment for young girls who have gone through our aftercare center. They've been given the skills for garment manufacturing and jewelry making. They are at this center, they are given training, and then this becomes their employment. as well as it's an opportunity for young girls, young ladies, I should say, from karaoke bars. It gives them an opportunity to see that that is not the only option for them. We have a training center where they can earn 3 to 4 times the Cambodian average. They have a lunch that's provided for them every day. They get an hour lunch, family-style lunch. If they have children, we have free childcare. If they have medical needs, which many of them do, we provide healthcare for them as well. They work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and it's unlike any other garment factory that you would see in Cambodia. We don't like to call it a factory simply because it's really a family of young ladies who have gone through the same thing, working together, earning a sustainable wage, still able to support their families and their value. So along with that, we're opening up a second training center that's come out of a partnership with a Hong Kong garment factory. So that's actually really exciting. That's a chance for 125 more young ladies to have sustainable employment.
And where will that new training center be?
They're in Swipak in the same village. And actually, you're reminding me, up in the north part of Cambodia, we opened up a rehab's house probably a little over a year ago. And this model that we're using there is outreach to karaoke girls. So we have a transitional living center there, as well as a salon where they can learn how to cut hair, do makeup. And again, this is that sustainable employment. Some of them are going on to test to become employees at hotels. The hospitality, tourist industry is really big in Siem Reap, which is, again, that northern part of Cambodia. So this is a great transition for them as well.
And is the model that you're using in northern Cambodia similar or different to the one that you guys are using in Swipak?
It's similar. However, the logistics are a little bit different. So we're applying the same practices, just in a different location, and it's also it's not in the middle of a village like the one in Swipak. This is actually a little bit more in a commercial residential area.
Okay, and is the Rahab's house and the program that you guys have in Sacramento similar to the model that you guys are using in Cambodia?
So Lauren and Rochelle Dittmore, who oversee Rahab's house in Oak Park, we provided them that Rahab's house model that we use in Swipak. And obviously they had to tweak it and make it their own for Sacramento. The house they have has 2 beds, so they're able to have two young ladies there at any time. They have a house mom, so that is exactly the same model that we use as well. And so they're using that same model and the practices for counseling. We have provided them with an awesome counselor. Her name is Becca Johnson. She is there to help them, to train and give them any insight they need when it comes to taking in these young ladies and providing them the care they need.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. And here in the States, I know that you guys do some educational components, particularly through showing the documentary The Pink Room. What other steps do you guys take to educate people here in the States about human trafficking, and could you expand on that a little bit more?
Sure. One of the things that Clay Butler has been doing, he actually just came back from Washington, but he conducts anti-trafficking training. And they're working on videos that will be available to anyone via our website. But that's one of the ways. He will go and speak to different churches and provide that anti-trafficking training. Other things we do is by attending awareness events, panels. Another one of our employees, Vanda Borders, is our development officer. She attends different events as well. All of us are involved in bringing awareness to the issue and collaborating with other organizations here in the Sacramento, Roseville area to say, this is what you can do here in the U.S. Here are your resources. Lauren and Rochelle Dittmore is another great example of that collaboration.
Perfect. Awesome.
As well as a Grace Network.
Grace Network. Perfect. And what do you believe sets you apart from other anti-trafficking groups?
For us, we really approach the fight in a holistic manner, knowing that aftercare is not in itself the answer. We know that it takes a transformation of minds and hearts and communities. In Cambodia, establishing the value of children in the minds of parents and others around them. That's a huge part of what we do, that education. So it really, the difference is that holistic approach.
Perfect. And how have you guys seen the transformation of the victims and their communities in the work that you guys have done so far?
Yeah. Here's what's cool about when we first opened up Rahab's house in Swaipak. We started up a vacation Bible school, and the people that were holding it, that were putting it on, were all the girls from the Restoration Center. So they themselves realized that they had value, they had information that they could pass on to these young kids in Swaipak to make a difference, to provide them a future. And so knowing that their hearts have been changed, they have been healed, they're restored, they're able to love themselves, and then go on to have sustainable employment, care for their families. I think Mian, who is the focus of the Pink Room documentary, is a great example of a young girl who went through the horrible situation that she was in being trafficked. She went through the Restoration Center. She received training. She had a hope and a dream to become a tailor. And she is now doing that. And she's working at our training center. She's married, and she has a beautiful baby boy that I think weighed more than she does. But that is an awesome example of Christ's healing, that redemption, and all of the work that's being done through the volunteers and the staff in Cambodia with the young girls that are going through the Restoration Center.
I'd love to hear you expand upon that by telling us how the response has been from both the victims and their community.
So that's a really good question, because in the Cambodian culture, girls are seen as I think there's a poem. They're seen as a garment, like a piece of cloth that if it's easily stained, it can disintegrate, and it doesn't keep its value. Versus a boy who is seen as gold, he's still, no matter if it gets dirty or if it gets chipped or whatever, it still holds value. So girls already start off with not having a lot of value, and then when they're being trafficked, their culture immediately sees them as being trash. That there's no way they can rise above this situation. And so when a girl is being reintegrated into their community, that is something that, she might believe it. She's already gone through her healing process. She's gone through the center, and she believes that she has value, that she is a princess of the King, of God. But when you put her back in her community and they're telling her something different, that's what's hard. And so that's where that education, working with the families and telling them that their children are precious and they need to care for them, and that is something that they're called to do as a parent and as a grandparent, as an aunt, as an uncle. And so that has been extremely important in that reintegration process and the healing process when the girls are at the center.
And how has the response been here on the state side, and as you guys have done your panels and your education through the documentary and that kind of thing?
It's actually been really good. The response, I think what we hear more is that people weren't aware that this was happening in their own backyard. I think we're helping to change the thought that it's a choice. A lot of times people think that someone that they see on the street, prostitute, that is their choice. For the majority of the young ladies, it's not. They're being exploited. They're being trafficked. This is a life that they've been brought up in, and so for them, they have no choice. So that's probably been the biggest response is, wow, this is going on in my own backyard. What can I do?
Your Agape International has obviously had many successes, both here in the States as well as in Cambodia. What would you say it has been AIM's biggest accomplish or biggest success story, and what would you attribute that to?
I think the biggest accomplishment would truly have to be the transformations that is taking place in SWIPOC. If you had seen that Dateline special and you had seen the way that the street was lined, the one main street was just lined with brothels and young girls being advertised on the streets in their pajamas. They all wear pajamas, but they were lining the streets. If you were to have seen that and see what's happening now, see how families are taking pride in their homes, they are putting flower pots on the front yard or their little porch, how members from the church are caring for those karaoke girls. They are reaching out to them and inviting them to church, inviting them to Rahab's house. Hearts are changing. To see a pimp give up their $2,000 a month salary as a pimp and take a job as a construction worker making $60 a month, to see that's huge for us. We see that as that transformation is taking place.
And is there any areas of the organization that you guys are working to develop further or renovate?
One of the things that we're working on right now, I think I mentioned the new partnership with the Hong Kong garment manufacturer. We're working on that building right now. That has already happened. We're in the finishing process of rehabbing a building for a transitional living center in SWIPOC. So hopefully that'll be done within the next couple of months. And again, that will be an opportunity for a girl who's working at a karaoke bar to, if she does not have a safe place to live, she can live at this transitional housing for about 9 months while she's receiving training at our training center. And she has a house mom there and a counselor there to care for her. We would love to expand our school. You know, there are so many children who are not able to attend our school. We're at capacity. We have children from the local brickyard factories that would like to attend, but we don't have the room. So that would be a dream, to be able to expand the school and build a building for that in SWIPOC.
Perfect. And has there been, as an organization, have you guys noticed any particular issue or topic that has been challenging in your fight against human trafficking?
Probably more so in Cambodia. The corruption is a big hindrance to investigations being followed through and brothels being shut down. That's been the biggest obstacle for us there. And then just ensuring that as we see young girls that are being trafficked, giving them that opportunity, the karaoke girls, those relationships, just simply giving them that opportunity to leave. That's always discouraging when, you want so much for them to be safe and know that there's a place that they can go and earn a good income, and they don't have to keep doing that. And they keep going back. But we pray. There's a lot of praying going on, and we trust that in God's timing that they'll leave.
Is there anything that we at HTAG or that people here in the States, especially in the Sacramento, Roseville area, can do to assist you guys with projects, with outreach, anything of that sort that we can do to help you guys combat human trafficking?
Sure. We always give these 3 action steps, so I'll give you the same ones. The first one is pray. Obviously, AIM, we believe that Christ through his church can defeat this evil, and so we would ask for prayer in that victory. Secondly is share, use your voice. It's amazing that just one person sharing with their friend, whether it's on Facebook or whatever it is, in a group setting, sharing what's going on, sharing about the myths of trafficking, or not even trafficking, but the belief that sometimes these young ladies have a choice and that they're willingly selling themselves. Showing the pink room. If they're interested, they can go to our website and request to do a pink room screening. Then the last thing is give. We're always looking for, obviously, that financial support. So they can go to our website, agapewebsite.org, and go online, and they can give that way.
Perfect. And lastly, to wrap up, I would love to hear you expand more about how people here in the States can raise awareness about human trafficking, and what steps can they do to combat modern-day slavery.
Yeah. Again, going back to the pink room screening, we have found that when a pink room screening is coupled with a panel, when a panel members from the local community are invited to attend, and people from that community can see and even ask questions of law enforcement, of other anti-trafficking organizations that are in the local community. That's bringing awareness right there. It's bringing awareness to that very specific area. So bringing that type of a panel together, it's kind of funny. There's a church up in Washington who does a run for rice, and it's a 5K, 10K walk run, and it's simply a fundraiser. But at the same time, they're raising awareness. So there's really so many different ways that someone can raise awareness. There was a church or actually it was just an individual in Texas who said, I really feel like I need to do a golf tournament. And they did. And it was great. They had a great, and it was a fundraiser. So again, it's up to the individual's imagination as to what they can do. But again, I think using their voice to just spread the word, tell people about what AIM is doing, tell people about what's going on here in the U.S. Use your voice.
And I know that you had mentioned at the beginning of our time that the girls in Cambodia make both jewelry and garments.
Yes.
Is there a way for people here in the States to purchase those items directly?
So the bracelets that I mentioned are 3 strands, and they can go to 3strandsglobal.com and check out the bracelets that they have. This brand was specifically made or developed for the young ladies that are working at our training center. This was a partnership with a US-based boutique called Apricot Lane. And so right now those bracelets are being sold at Apricot Lane boutique. So that's another way that someone can go out to help purchase and support the work that AIM is doing. The t-shirts, If there is a bulk order, that's really how the way that we're selling them right now is through bulk. But again, going to our website and checking out the costs associated with it. They can create a logo and or use a logo that's being given to them and do a silk screen and get those shipped over to the person who's ordered them.
And do the proceeds go straight back into the
Yes.
victim's
To
pockets?
the training center. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Julie, for taking
You're
the time
welcome.
out of your busy schedule to sit down with us and share more about what Agape International Missions is doing. For you viewers, if you would like to learn more about AIM and what they're doing and how to get involved, particularly if you are interested in hosting a Pink Room documentary showing, please visit AIM's site at agapewebsite.org, or you can always visit HTAG's website to learn more about what AIM is doing. As always, please get involved in the fight to end human trafficking and join with these amazing organizations to strengthen as a unit to end modern day slavery. I'm Anna and I'm an abolitionist.